100% of businesses could become 30% more profitable without making one additional sale if they just did one thing: examine the existing labor force. And you might wonder, does that mean that there would be huge layoffs by leveraging technology and automating processes? Well, as companies grow, as they scale, they become more inefficient. And here are the top 4 reasons. Number 1, decisions take too long to make because everybody has a vote. Number 2, inefficient leaders. You see, as people climb the managerial ladder, they don't acquire the skills of a leader. They have fancy titles such as VP and director and have no experience, nor, in many cases, are trying to acquire the knowledge to formulate strategic plans for retention, profitability, and risk. Number 3, alignment. Managers are running around like chickens with their heads cut off just to move the CEO's goals forward. And number 4, metrics. No one understands the story behind the numbers. The bigger the company, the more seemingly complex it becomes. So the story that I'm about to share with you may shock you. A department within a $18 million a year company that is responsible for incoming revenue of $2 million has 2 individuals located at HQ who work year round. Those individuals have one job: customer service. 80% of their job is data entry. Yes, very antiquated. So they are given piles and piles of handwritten invoices and receipts, and they have to enter that data into the system, right? So both individuals, neither type over 100 words a minute, but that wasn't the bottleneck. You see, one day at lunch, I overheard a conversation about things getting backed up. We prided ourselves on a 10-day turnaround, and we were already at 14 days. They'd reached out to the manager to alert the manager that they were in fact 4 days behind and getting further and further behind. The solution was to work overtime or bring on another team member to assist. And the conversation was, well, they were already doing overtime, didn't really want to do any more overtime, and they were clear that by bringing in another team member wouldn't necessarily push them forward in an efficient manner. So they really didn't have a solution. Random, I offered that particular weekend to take home those forms to enter into the computer program, and you'll never guess what I learned. There I was, minding my own business, type, and I quickly realized it was the data entry assignment from hell. Sidebar, I type 120 words a minute. But the problem is that the information on the form did not match the flow of information in the data entry portion of the program. So, common sense, right? We read left to right, top to bottom. And so as I'm typing, I'm having to grab my mouse, click, backspace, return, grab the mouse again, click, just to make it all work. And it was taking forever. Not to mention, because I'm clicking and tabbing and backspacing all around, the probability for error was increasing. So I'm like, okay, this is ass backwards. So coming back to work Monday, I speak with the associate and I ask, hey, is this awkward for you? Are you fumbling around? I mean, does it feel like it's just completely inefficient as far as the workflow? And she was like, yeah. And I go, and has anybody had a conversation about it? Did anybody bring it to anybody's attention? No, I just figured it was intentional and this is how it's supposed to be. And I'm like, God, no. Can we fix it? It seems like a simple fix, right? We either change the form to match the computer program or we change the computer program to match the form. But this seems pretty straightforward. So I suggested either or. And the change was made. So circle back a week later to the associate and I'm like, hey, the change has been made. Like, what do you think? Can you give me your feedback? And she's like, honestly? I'm like, yes, tell me. Does anything else need to be adjusted? And she's like, nope. What used to take me 8 hours now only takes me 4. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Just by tweaking something very, very simple, cut down the time to finish the task in half, 50%. So imagine if you had a team, okay, of 10 people that were working 40 hours a week to get this task done. And now all of a sudden it's 10 people who only need 20 hours a week to get this task done. Or potentially 5 people who are working 40 hours a week. Again, the intent is not to lay people off. The intent is not to replace jobs with automation, because if this department already had the budget, okay, and was profitable at that level of inefficiency, imagine what else could be done, right? Imagine the elevation of customer service in another area, perhaps. Imagine other things that could be added on to be a value to the department with the extra time that was being saved. So I want to encourage you all, no matter where you are in the organization, to be looking at simple things like this, because those are the game changers. Those are the hidden gems within